I know this is very late considering that the US Open final is literally a few hours away, but I just couldn't stop thinking about that match between Alcaraz and Djokovic in the Cincinnati final and how much of a classic that truly was. 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz, the world number one, the guy who had beaten Djokovic in Djokovic's favourite tournament and his favourite match, the Wimbledon final, to stop Djokovic from potentially winning the Calendar Slam that year. Djokovic, facing that man in the final, being down a set, a break, being affected by the heat, not being in seemingly top physical condition, was able to somehow find the will, find the motivation, find the inner strength to be able to push through, get a break back in that second set, win it in a tiebreak, go to a third set tiebreak, having served for the match once, had multiple championship points, even saving a championship point in that second set tiebreak, losing all those championship points in that service game to make it 6-4 and end up winning it in a third set tiebreak, just showing Novak's immense mental strength that he has as a 36-year-old, as he's still fully motivated and still able to compete with all these young guns. And for Alcaraz, you could see how much that match meant to him, because he was crying after the handshake and whatnot before he did the trophy ceremony. He even cried during the trophy ceremony. It just showed how much of these two titans really care about the sport, how much they want to win, how much they want to prove that they are the best tennis player in the world, and that is extremely exciting. So I know now that we don't get another Alcaraz-Djokovic final, as it is Daniel Medvedev who took out Alcaraz, playing some of the best tennis he's played since 2021. I'm glad Medvedev has revived himself from that poor 2022 season, because he deserves to be up there with the top guys on the tour, because he is one of them, especially on hard court. And I guess his comments in Indian Wells saying that he's a hard court specialist and this is not hard court really came into fruition, because he's playing extremely well on this hard court, especially with the way he's serving. It got him out of so many moments with Rublev and less so against Alcaraz, but then his consistent baseline thing was just too much for Alcaraz to handle. And we forget Alcaraz is only 20, so, Alcaraz has a lot to learn. He even said he's not mature enough at points to be able to find solutions that easily to him, but, it's all part of the development curve. Glad we got to see Medvedev-Djokovic final. I did want to see that match for a while because, that Paris-Bercy final, I think that was the last time they played, was a banger. The rallies in that match were, amazing. So I'm glad we got to see that. But yeah, that Cincinnati final, that almost preemptively set up a US Open final, even though, Djokovic was saying, Zverev was saying it's disrespectful. Why does everyone think it's going to be an Alcaraz-Djokovic final? Even though Zverev didn't really have anything, couldn't really stop that because Alcaraz destroyed Zverev. But that Cincinnati final was amazing. It was 4 hours. I saw loads of tweets, loads of memes saying, everyone that missed that Alcaraz-Djokovic match, they must have been disappointed. I would have been disappointed. I watched all 3 hours and 50 minutes, however long it was, and I was thoroughly entertained. Despite it not going Alcaraz's way, it was an amazing match. And I'm glad Novak still has that deep desire, the level that he can bring out of himself. And even though it's not a Grand Slam tournament, he knows how much he needs to prove to Alcaraz that he is still there with Alcaraz, being 16 years older than him, still being able to go toe-to-toe with him, showing that Novak deserves to go down as an all-time great in tennis, if not the greatest tennis player. And it feels like every big match with Novak, we have to bring this up, because it's true. Novak is showing time and time again players 10 years younger than him, 16 years younger than him, who are supposed to have, the players in their prime, for example, supposed to have the mental game, all their tools figured out, or a generational talent in Alcaraz, supposed to have the legs because he's so young, has all the shots, but still Novak can, time after time, still come up with the goods in these matches. So that Cincinnati final was amazing. I'm so glad it happened. One of the best 3-set matches of 2023. Quality insanely high, despite Alcaraz getting extremely complacent after being up a break. Because you could see throughout Cincinnati he was, prone to that loose service game where he just loses focus and he couldn't even defend any break points in the service game. So, maybe Alcaraz took it as a learning curve. He can take the Medvedev match as a learning curve. But now we had that amazing Cincinnati final, and then we get to see hopefully an amazing US Open final between Medvedev and Djokovic. So my bad that this is a late video on it, even though the final happened 3 weeks ago now. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe. Take care and peace.